Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. Manchester United hosting Burnley. And finally, Joe Smith is back for the previews.
Hello. Is this the big one?
Yeah, of course
it might be the smallest one.
Do you reckon?
It could be.
What do you think is the smallest game that me and you have previewed that I've said this is the big one for, or that we've just previewed?
I mean, other than literal dead rubber last game of the season, whether you win or lose, you're not changing positions. Yeah. This might be it. At home against one of the worst teams in the world.
I think Newport County's got to be up there.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, not that we can't lose, but there's a very, not decent chance we'll lose, but there is a chance we'll lose.
But this is a derby, Joseph. This is the East Lancashire versus Manchester derby.
You tell me, do you feel any sort of elevated level of heat for this game, for local rivalry reasons? Because Burnley, what is it, 15 miles away?
Not local rivalry reasons. I don't like. I mean, the funny thing is, right? Vincent Kompany obviously manages Burnley, but I don't mind Vincent Kompany. Right? I hate City with a passion. I really hate him. But Vincent Kompany, when I used to be one of Manchester's leading radio reporters.
Okay, so you're talking about a different person.
Yeah, but actually, I think I was well in the top 10 of commercial radio reporters based in Manchester.
Sure.
Thank you. He was all right. He was sound. He was always a decent chap, even though he played for a team that, eventually would be facing 115 charges.
Yeah, exactly.
He was okay. And all the, the all lives matter stuff isn't really something that makes me hate Burnley. I don't like that, but that's just a few Muppets in it. It's not the entire
it's
club.
Not the whole place.
Yeah, so I'm not really, I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? I'll hate them when they beat us.
Yeah.
Later, after the game.
And they will.
Yeah, when it's 2-0.
Yeah.
Like it was under Ollie. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I thought you were going to get sacked.
Yeah, I did. But no, I don't really care. What about you? Do you have a feeling?
No, I don't really. I don't mind them either way, to be honest. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I think, annoyingly for us, they're just on a bit of a upward trajectory for the first time all season. Just a little flick of like a little sort of ski jump. Do you know what I mean? They're just on the way up. They've not. I think they've only lost 2. They lost whatever. I know we're going to get into them a bit more, but we need to win this game. Chelsea.
We say this fine. We've got it there above our heads. There.
Yeah.
There. Must win.
Yes.
It's not though, is it?
Well, it might be.
Even though I agreed with Ethan when he suggested that, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Because we say must win, and then we lose, and then we're like,
but if we end up 7th, then we're Europa Conference League, aren't we?
Do you think
no one wants that?
Do you think that the league matters in terms of Ineos's decision?
Well, I don't know about Ineos's decision, but that's not the only thing I'm worried about. Do you know what I mean? I'm worried about what competitions United are playing in next season, whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Maguire, whether it's Varane, whoever's playing and representing Man United. I don't want to be in the Europa Conference. I know we can win the FA Cup and get Europa League, but I'd rather have it banked before we get to playing City.
You are Mr. Positive on this channel.
Yes.
And we've needed you. We've needed you a lot over the last month. And you sort of say, about the Europa League, look, when you're in it, you want to win it, and it's not that bad, and I get that. So I went to the Nou Camp for the first time in my life for the Europa League, so I'm not going to say it's a terrible competition. Mm-hmm. The conference, though, bro.
Conference.
You can't get behind that.
Garbage town.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
That's clubs you've got to Google.
Yeah.
Who Roma are, or Fiorentina, or I know Fiorentina were in the Europa Conference, or Barcelona were in it, obviously, or Sociedad, or whatever. You get some clubs where the good clubs, you know what I mean? You might have like a Feyenoord in there, or do you know what I mean? A Schalke or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have a club that you go, yeah, of course I know where they are. There's clubs in the conference where you go, I've never heard of that club.
Yeah, I thought that was a toothpaste.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And actually, it's probably Yugoslavia.
We should do a
and that's not a country anymore.
A game next season where we'll have is it Europa or Salford Municipal League?
Yeah.
And you have to guess.
I'd love it. I'm well up for that.
Trading Standards 11.
Yeah.
Is that in the Salford League or is it in the Europa Conference?
Weirdly, the Salford Prison 11 is actually in the Europa Conference League somehow.
They qualified.
Yeah. I mean, Fair Play Award. Begin to cover it. But I don't want to finish in that. The Europa League is a prestigious tournament that's been around, 50 years? It's in one form or another.
Good trophy as well.
It's a very good trophy. It's hard to win. Yeah. English teams aren't just guaranteed to go, we're going to win. It's actually really difficult.
Make a good point. Some of not the best, but a lot of top teams have been in the Europa and won the Europa, or have been in and around it.
Yeah.
Was it when we got our arses handed to us at Old Trafford with Ander Herrera and all them lot?
Yeah.
Was that the Europa?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It might have been Champions League even.
No, I don't think it was.
Was it Europa?
It was Bielsa, wasn't it? Was it not? It was Bilbao team.
Yeah, it was Bilbao.
Yeah.
But there's good teams in there, and we've lost finals, and other English teams have lost finals, and it's not easy to win. And I don't want finish 7th. I don't want to have our worst or equal worst ever Premier League season this year. I don't want that.
No, I'm with you. I think it's shaping up to be like that, and we don't want it. I agree with you. I just feel like conference. No, I can't get excited for it.
No.
But if we do end up in the Europa Conference, we'll be doing watch alongs on Stretford Paddock, so make sure you join us. Defence.
Yes.
Yeah, or as the Americans like to say, defence.
Nice.
Talk to me, bro.
We ain't got one.
Well, that solves so many problems. I think eliminate the defence. There's no problems.
We concede basically a goal every time we score, which no top team does that. This whole 0 goal difference thing, can he stand, man? Like that can't be the case going forward. We're already doing much better in terms of goals scored recently, but what we've done with that is the cheeky little thing that we've done. We've started scoring more, but to keep that 0 to -1 to +1 goal difference, we've decided to concede a lot more goals.
It is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, we've actually started making chances and scoring goals, and we've just started conceding more as well. So the defence, I get it though, because what have we had? A sort of consistent, not even first choice, but just consistent back four for 3 games in a row this season, and that's it.
It's mad, isn't it? It's even like you saw the other night. I think he swapped Delo and Wan-Bissaka around.
Yeah.
So Delo went back to left back because he's played there before, and it's like even that changes. Even the fullbacks change from their usual position or their positions they've been playing, and one of them's cover.
Yeah.
For the absence of a left back. Then you've got the centre back situation where you've got a midfielder playing at centre back because you've run out of central defenders, despite the fact you've got 7. I mean, it is insane the amount of injuries we've had in defence. And whether you rate Ten Hag or not, you have to sympathise a little bit with him. You might still think he's not good enough, but you can't ignore the fact that his defence has been ravaged with injuries.
No, and if you do, you're just either an idiot or someone that isn't capable of looking at the full situation. You can still think he's not good enough, let's get rid of him. But if you sit there and go, well, it shouldn't matter, well, then you don't know football. Because if not having...
Whoa. You don't know ball.
You don't know ball. Because if not having 7 of your 8 defenders, which we don't at the minute... Casemiro's playing up. If not having 7 of your 8 defenders doesn't matter, then why do people even make transfers? Why do we even attempt to buy and bring in good players if the quality of your players is irrelevant to success? That is fucking ballistic thinking. There's no point in even signing players if you can just win games with any old shite.
Do you know what? I'd love to stand outside Old Trafford with my mate, doing a paper talk and say Manchester United pulled out of the transfer for such and such player because the manager said it doesn't make any difference.
Well, it shouldn't matter anyway. Well, it should matter. Having all your players injured in a given position is terrible for your chances of winning games. Obviously. Otherwise, why do when's the last time the team with the best team in England finished 12th? It has never happened, Jay. Because having the best team increases your chances of winning exponentially.
I'll see a headline from and it'll say Pep Guardiola tells the press that Jack Grealish is a doubt this weekend. And you think, wow. That's your issue. Yeah. Grealish might not be fit. Oh, never mind. We'll just play Doku there or whatever.
Your winger will only get fouled 6 times this game.
Yeah,
so 26.
And it's you look at United and we've got such a merry-go-round going on. Not just in the back four, but in midfield as well. We've had injuries and comings and goings, haven't we? Let's not forget we didn't have Mainu for half the season almost, and he's mint. Yeah. People dismissed it because he's only a kid. He's absolutely brilliant, and we missed him till what was it, November? I can't remember. It was a long time when we missed a big chunk of the season anyway.
So United's defence might be slightly leaky, Jay, but one thing that is guaranteed to protect the onion bag is Manscaped.
Love that.
And with their latest innovations, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, coming with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you can guarantee that your boys downstairs are sorted. Just taken care of, Jay.
Do you know what, right? I love the fact that Manscaped have gone one better than the 4.0, which I thought was the pinnacle. They've actually smashed it, and this is amazing. But you know me, Joe. I'm a small-minded, bitter man, set in his ways. So whilst I embrace the step upwards in technology when it comes to below the waist grooming, I'm worried.
Why?
Because there's certain things by Manscaped that I love, I trust, I need. Will I still get them?
Let me stop you. You're not getting anything less. You're just getting better stuff.
Right.
You're getting all the stuff you had before, but better versions of them. You're still getting the Crop Soother Toner. You're still getting the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Weed Whacker for the ear and nose hair. You're still getting 2 free gifts as well when you use our code DEVILS20 for 20% off and free shipping.
Do I get the Boxers 2.0?
Well, they're your free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed travel bag. So you can be coming off the coach like, I don't even know, Jadon Sancho, that Manchester United player who everyone loves. You can be just like him with Manscaped. But genuinely, I used Manscaped. I took it with me while I was away.
You did?
How do you think I was so beach ready?
Yeah.
Manscaped. Everything. There's nothing poking out, sticking out. Everything's in the right place. And I tell you what, when you go back to the hotel room, it's the performance package coming through, let me tell you that much, hey? With Devils20, you get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Millions and millions of men trust Manscaped, so why should we be any different?
Exactly.
Join the club and join Manscaped with the code Devils20.
Let's talk about predicted 11s, then, my friend. This is the team you feel Erik ten Hag is going to pick.
Yeah, we've got a right back at left back, a centre mid at centre back, our 4th choice centre back at centre back, and we've got Dallo, who loves playing at right back. So there you go, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. And then midfield, I've gone for a kind of triple Mainu, McTominay, Fernandes situation. I think it's the best we can do with Casemiro playing at the back. Garnacho on the left, Antony on the right, Højlund up front. I don't think he'll pick Ahmad. It's an option. I know a lot of people want to see it, and I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of it. If I'm cynical, I think maybe the reason Antony's getting picked is because we think we can get more by selling Antony than we can by selling Ahmad, so let's inflate that price by giving him more game time. Maybe it's just a case of he thinks Antony's better than Diallo, but I think at best you're going to get 15 million for Ahmad, and I think you might get 25 for Antony, and maybe we're just sort of cruising to the end of the season trying to boost people's prices a little bit. I don't know, but I think that's what we'll probably go for, something like that.
Do you feel sort of justified a little bit in your defence of Harry Maguire? You've been sticking up for him for ages. He's having a decent spell. A lot of fans have sort of started to back him who weren't backing him. Yeah. Do you feel like you can say, told you so?
Well, no, because I hate this thing of, like, it's this sort of poisonous yes or no. Is he shit or is he great? Marcus Rashford is the current one at the minute. And, like, you've sort of vilified for defending a Manchester United player. This is the team we support.
You took some stick in the comments when you were sticking up for him.
But do you know what?
And now it's sort of flipped where I've noticed, like, people having to go at Mac or whatever for
having to go at Maguire?
Because he's quite. Whereas, like, you go back a few months and it was you getting stick for sticking up for him, and it gets a bit nonsensical, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you just think we're meant. And I'm not having to get McCullough for saying what he's saying. He can say what he wants. But the idea is you're meant to support these people, support this club. And I don't mean blindly saying everyone's great when they're not. Anthony's been awful this season. Maguire was awful for large parts of last season. But the idea is, what can we do to make them be as good as possible? Let's try and find the sort of the bonuses and the upside to these things. And the thing with Maguire always for me was, I've seen him be good for us. I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's going to suit a modern style. But I do know that the guy we saw at the end of last season, where he had no confidence whatsoever, we could all surely know that he's better than that deep down, and I think we're close to seeing the best of Maguire again. And again, it's not quite good enough, but it's certainly worth playing, and he's probably our best centre-back at the moment. Well, he's our best centre-back at the moment. He's playing well and he's scoring goals. Like, that's all right. That's what you expect from Harry Maguire. He's doing okay.
I said that to Steen. He was like, well, you're wrong.
Well, it's not, is it?
I think it was after the semi-final. No, listen, I like Maguire. I think whether I've been critical of him in the past, I've praised him in the past.
Yeah, fine.
I think there's been moments where he's done really well. I remember going on the radio after I think it was the Euros, when people were saying, like, I did this thing where they were like, oh, is he one of the biggest flops ever? And I was like, hang on a minute. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not get carried away.
What do you think? What do people think a flop is?
Yeah,
someone who's played probably, close to 200 games for Man United and won multiple trophies for Manchester United, some as captain. Yeah. That's not a flop. Like, he may not have been the best centre-back in the world, and I know he was one of the most expensive, so maybe that can be the expectation. Yeah. But realistically, look at the guy we saw at Leicester. Has he been pretty much that guy at Man United? Yes.
No, I think Maguire's doing well, and I think when he has played this season, he's done all right as well. I think the problem for him is he's been injured at times when we needed him. I think had he been fully fit all season, he would have played all season. and he might have affected the season. He would have affected the season in a positive way for us. I'm not saying we'd be third now or whatever, or second, but we could have done with a centre back who played week in, week out, and unfortunately for him, he wasn't quite able to do that. But when he has played, he's done all right. So yeah, I'm with you.
What's your 11 then?
My 11's slightly different. I mean, we're going off. The manager was a little bit coy about certain injuries. Mason Mount, however, it was suggested could return. So I've got Mason Mount coming in for Christian Eriksen. I thought he did all right, Christian Eriksen, the other day. I just wonder whether the manager's like, look, let's get Mount in the team. Let's just get him in. Let's get him some minutes. Let's get him playing, and hopefully he can take part in the FA Cup final. I have gone with Diallo.
Yeah.
I thought Anthony was... I think it might have been you that said there wasn't a massive difference between Anthony and Diallo, and I get that. I don't think there is. It's not like you've got one who's absolutely woeful and one who's amazing. I think you've got one who for me is pretty woeful, and you've got another one who's all right. I think that's the difference. But I think the fact that one is all right,
go with it,
is enough for this manager when he's under the cosh a little bit to think I've got to pick my strongest team, because I think he saw it in Sheffield United where there was a little bit of a sort of, I'm not saying Diallo changed the game or anything like he didn't, but you could see a little bit of an upturn, a little bit more energy, just a little bit more going on when he came on. And I felt like that at Wembley until he got moved into midfield. When he came on, he looked lively. And I felt for him because I thought you barely get any minutes. And then when you do get minutes, you get shifted into a position that's not your favourite position. So I would like to see him get a start. And I think he might do. I think the manager might just go, do you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's get Mount in, let's get Diallo in, and let's get at him. But I could be completely wrong. Get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think. Burnley, I mean, this will come back to bite me. I don't know a lot about Burnley. I know, they're struggling. They're right near the bottom. They're not down and out yet, but they're not looking good.
They're only 3 points off safety.
Yeah, they win at Old Trafford, then all of a sudden they'll be buzzing, won't they? And it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
3.5 points really as well, because their goal difference is absolutely diabolical compared to Forest and Everton.
We'll have to, it's just been a weird season with all these points deductions, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've noted a player in note is Jacob Brune Larson. He's a winger.
Big fan of him.
Yeah, he's got 3 goals, I think, is it, in his last 7 games? Is that six? Sorry. So he's in a decent bit of form. Yeah. I'm not going to dismiss him because I've done that before with Burnley players, and they've ended up, was it Jay Rodriguez who scored that worldie?
Yeah, it was.
I remember being behind the goal for that one, just like
you didn't stop it. You were in the goal and you literally didn't even try and save it.
I remember blaming De Gea. I don't know what I was thinking, because I don't think anyone could have saved it.
Some days you just got to blame the player.
At the time, I was like, what's he doing now?
It's just
and then I watched it back, and it was like in off the crossbar, it like a rocket.
Yeah.
Like there was no way anyone was saving that. But I was just like, and you know, in them ones where you say something, because people are angry, like others join in with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and about 20 seconds later, you're like, I've made everyone say something that's just garbage.
Not true. It's not true.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's beat them.
Let's beat them.
Just beat them easy for once. 3-0, 4-0. None of this, you come back into it, or Sheffield United, you go up ahead a couple of times and we'll catch you up, don't worry about it. Let's just score the first goal, score the second goal, and the game ends. What about that?
Well said. We want your score predictions. Yes. So film yourself like that.
Yep.
In landscape. 30 seconds, send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com. Want your score predictions, and we'll use it as part of our pre-match build-up. There's going to be me, with Joseph, and there's going to be Kofi B on it as well. Man, like Kofi, give us your score prediction.
I think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win big. I'm going to go, not that big, 3-0. Clean sheet.
3-0 to Matt, obviously, because you said we're going to win big.
There hasn't been a clean sheet in a Manchester United game for like 16 games in a row, Like both teams have scored in every game for ages against Man United.
Really?
Yeah. So the odds of a clean sheet are quite slim, but I'm going to go for one. 3-0.
All right. With the information you've given me, I'm going to go 0-0. We'll be back later on today with the watch along. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the Burnley preview. Thanks for watching.